What's going on, everyone? Good morning. Hey, huge day. I woke up in the morning because I knew it was happening. Remember what I was telling people before? And you guys have been following my video. I've told people the main Mario team plays no games. So, guys, IGN gives Donkey Kong a 10 out of 10. Do we know how rare that is? Calls it a masterpiece, right? And I just want to say something. I said that I was going to change my Metacritic prediction because originally I was 90 to 94. From 90 to 94 to 92 to 96. I still think there's a chance you can hit that 92. They're going to get a lot more 10s, trust me. Right now, we're at a 90 meta with 63 reviews. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 out of 10 so far. But yeah, reviews are doing very good. As we see, IGN, like I said, gives a 10. They hardly ever do this. IGN giving a 10? I think people are mostly used to that, that 7 meme, right? Pony, sit down. All that mess you were talking. I tried to warn y'all they were going to be a little bit insecure because it was going to hit that 90 meta bracket and be Game of the Year contender. They want it to be Death Stranding and Ghost of Yote, you know what I mean? Which both are going to be awesome games, or both are awesome games. Death Stranding's already out. Unfortunately, it just hit 89 meta not too long ago, so it's underneath a 90. Hopefully it gets back. So right now, yeah, I mean, the 3 main game of the years is definitely going to be Donkey Kong. And I was trying to tell people that. Claire, which has a strong chance. Amazing game. Beat that game. Loved it. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, Death Stranding, Claire, Donkey Kong. I guess right now, for fourth or somewhere around that bracket could probably be Kingdom Come, because we still need more games to come out. We still have more they could possibly do it, right? Metroid Prime 4 has a chance. That usually hits 90 plus meta brackets. You know what I mean? So we can't count that out. I don't know what Borderlands 4 is going to do. I mean, we still got other games. We got Ninja Gaiden 4 that could be close to 90 meta, maybe. You know what I mean? Team Ninja has a possibility of doing that. Like I said, there's more games. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. But yeah, happy here. Are we ready to get into this IGN review? And just, Gene Park over here says, IGN 10 out of 10, agree with Logan. Sorry, Death Stranding 2 and Expedition 33. Kong is king of 2025 now. Now, that's going to be something you'll see, right? And you'll see people probably come to fitness and see people probably come to fitness, you know what I mean? And this is just a thing going on at the moment, you know what I mean? That's what I said. These 3 are right now for sure. They have the highest meta. So I'm excited. Look, as I try to tell people, see, Nintendo does not, you know what I mean? Think about it. The second month already, you have a 90 plus meta game of the year contender. Already. Mario Kart started off at a 90 meta, but then they came out with stupid updates and all that other stuff. But it's still up there, 86, 87, going back and forth a lot, you know what I mean? But 2 back-to-back games already on top of the other stuff they launched. You can't make this stuff up. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Good video games. That's what we're here for, baby. We're ready to get into this IGN review. Nintendo lovers, long time Nintendo lovers. Come on, man. I've been playing Donkey Kong since Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo. Yeah, we've been here a long time. A regular NES player right here, guys. Yeah.
So I hear you want a new 3D Mario. If that means you're looking for a console-defining platformer with satisfyingly expressive movement, innovative mechanics that constantly evolve, and expertly crafted challenges that unleash the interactive potential between the two, then I'm beyond thrilled to share that Donkey Kong Bonanza is all of that and so much more. Bonanza is no mere side project from the team.
Also, I want to ask some, man, what happened to the performance stuff? I don't see anybody saying anything. You see what I mean? These people are full of crap. This is the thing that they feared, guys. Now let's watch the sales. Keep in mind, too, my metas are usually on point. For Death Stranding, original 85 to 89, right? Then I said if it did really good, that would be huge for Kojima. It's definitely possible. But my 85 to 89 range was absolutely correct. And my meta predictions are always on point, I'm telling you. So all we got to do is just basically find it. If we go down the list here, that is 89. But that's really good, though. You know what I mean? 136 reviews. Amazing. Let's keep going.
Team behind Super Mario Odyssey, it's a brilliant successor to that masterpiece, a tremendous reinvention for one of Nintendo's original mascots, a groundbreaking adventure in every sense of the word, and one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played.
Of course. That's what they do, man.
Bonanza wonderfully honors DK's various incarnations over the decades while also fearlessly punching through a mountain to forge its own path. It tells a light but sweet story about DK and his spirited sidekick Pauline pursuing an underground legend that will allegedly grant them one wish.
Disney.
Pauline hopes to return home, while DK just wants more bananas. The deeper the pair dives toward the planet core, the deeper the gameplay becomes. Nintendo builds each new 3D Mario around one big idea, like Sunshine's Water Pack or Odyssey's Captures. Mario is nowhere to be seen here, but in that same tradition, Bonanza's fully destructible environments suit a hulking, rampaging gorilla far better than that plumber. And this exciting concept is truly fit for a Kong. Practically everything in this world is designed for DK to punch and break, and the extent to which Bonanza commits to letting you tear through its environment is both technically impressive and a ton of fun. DK is powerful, and that's regularly reflected across a fresh set of abilities that are endlessly enjoyable to pull off.
Tell them, bro, by the way, the name of the guy is right here. Logan Plant. Yeah. But yeah, do you see anybody say anything about performance, by the way? And by the way, Digital Foundry's video's up. We're going to get to that too.
Simply tearing a chunk from the ground, which you can do almost anywhere, leads to so many dynamic possibilities. DK can hurl it at airborne enemies, swing it to break through walls, bounce off it to double jump, or surf on it to get around faster and safely cross dangerous terrain. When he's empty-handed, he can punch in any direction, slap the ground to instantly gather loose gold and reveal nearby collectibles, and perform a satisfying roll-jump-roll combo cut from the same cloth as Mario throwing Cappy and bouncing off him for extra distance. Plus, he takes a page out of Link's book and can climb basically any non-slippery surface, granting an extra sense of freedom to the entire journey. Crunchy sound effects that change depending on the material DK's interacting with make it even more entertaining to wreck stuff. Like the loud crumble of breaking down a sturdy wall of stone, or the juicy splash of tearing into a watermelon. The controls for doing all of this are so polished, too, and when you chain together a combo, everything sings in perfect harmony.
Wrecking Crew, baby.
Bonanza's levels are called layers, and each one is a sprawling playground constructed to maximize the potential of DK's destructive abilities. There's so much to find both on their surfaces and tucked away in the hidden caves and tunnels you find by bashing your way through the environment. But Bonanza rarely relies on mindless destruction for the sake of it. Instead, it excels at rewarding discoveries by way of smart destruction, and it's remarkable how intentional and well-designed its dense vertical layers are. Visual cues masterfully draw your eye to areas worth exploring, similar to how veteran Zelda players know to place a bomb in front of any suspicious cracks. See a tantalizing fossil embedded in the wall? Chuck an explosive boom rock at it, and there's a good chance you'll reveal a new path to explore.
That is so sick. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you feel like you're getting a developed sequel, and they're not falling off. They're still hitting 90+ metas and stuff like that. This is what I mean. You got people that are so insecure, they'll say nostalgia. It's like, how could it be nostalgia and be 97+ meta and still be better than every other platform in the industry that year? You know what I mean? And always leading. It's just like, it gets to a point where it's like your grift doesn't work anymore. Because when somebody's consistently keep releasing great products and great videos, consistently hitting 90+ meta, reaching the top consistently, that's not nostalgia. They're that good. You're just a hater. Let's keep going.
Sure, the open-world nature of these maps means you can occasionally happen upon a collectible by skipping the intended puzzle entirely and just carving a tunnel straight to it. But in
because we go to IPs like Crash and all those other IPs, where are they at? They're never hitting no 90+ meta. Nostalgia been around since the 90s. Where's it at? You see what I mean? And you go find a lot of other platformers, and it's not beating out, it's just reality. Not the same team, not the same devs, just one IP, right? And they're keeping all these IPs alive, taking them to the highest degree. Since the Switch One era, you've seen it. Every IP selling more than ever, getting the high metas as well, having the biggest impact, being taken to the highest height. Every franchise, and they consist and stay good for a very long time. Man, that's very hard to do. So yeah, when you hear people say that and stuff, all they're saying is that they're insecure and they're mad that the other platforms that they want to represent don't even have IPs that can't even last after 3 games, 4 games, and they're out. And they could try the nostalgia and it doesn't work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nice try.
My experience, it didn't happen that often. It fits with modern Nintendo trends seen in games like Tears of the Kingdom, where the designers don't care how you get from point A to point B as long as you have fun doing it. On the other hand, Bonanza smartly walls off most of its main objectives behind terrain the nefarious Void Kong has turned indestructible, so it's not like DK can just punch his way straight to the end credits.
Good.
What makes Bonanza's objectives more compelling is that it isn't really about destroying everything. Instead, it's about exploring, platforming, fighting, and collecting in a vast world where you can destroy everything, which is an important distinction. It never feels like a gimmick or the only tool you have, but rather one integral part of Bonanza's larger design. I was rarely asked to create random tunnels with no guidance, and DK's upgradable sonar ability helped me find buried collectibles hidden to the naked eye. Pauline helps out with the search too, as she sings to reveal waypoints to collectibles marked on your map. That
Super
keeps the
cute.
hunt for completion focused and fun, even if the camera occasionally struggles with the weird angles you force it into when digging yourself a nice hole. Romping around the sublevels is a blast, and the fact that I felt totally in control of the action, even with so much fast-paced chaos unfolding at any given time, is an impressive feat. I love how the world crumbles around DK. It makes everything feel more alive and really sells the heft of this character, like the way he leaves a crater when crash landing after a lengthy fall. Every world has something unique to offer both visually and mechanically, from the freezer layer's icicles you have to knock down to create platforms, to the resort layer's liftoff ore that sends DK soaring. And Bonanza never stops pulling fresh ideas off the vine. Without spoiling anything, I was stunned at the ingenuity on display as I dove to some of its late-game layers. There are tons of different material types that make up the world, with set rules to how they all interact.
That's the Mario team for you. I'm telling you, man, they're top tier and insanely creative. You gotta love it. This creativity, it's not just creativity, it's creativity at the highest peak of amazing gameplay, design, innovation, like exploration, like they're showing you. And guys, it is so hard to go from another IP to another one that you've never worked on before and take it to a new height. They're telling you how talented they are too. And that's also what I tell people last night. They're going to another level, to another game. They're not doing the next Mario, they're doing the next Donkey Kong. And look at what they're doing with it.
A simple example is how throwing ice onto lava creates a hardened rock platform. But the interplay between different elements gets more complex as you progress, and learning these relationships to solve increasingly smart puzzles is supremely gratifying. Those puzzles are often found in standalone challenge rooms scattered across each layer. There's a nice mix of fights, logic puzzles, and platforming sequences that offer a welcome change of pace from the open-ended explorable layers
100%.
themselves. I was consistently impressed with how the challenges take full advantage of Bonanza's systems. After more than 50 hours, I'm still finding new challenge rooms that mix and match enemies, materials, and abilities in brand new ways. One of my
Over
favorites
50
is these
hours.
boxes of blue and pink slime that are inverses of each other, where destroying one fills in the matching part of the other. Bonanza builds several brilliant puzzles off this one idea and gets similar mileage out of every toy in its toy box, forcing me to think about something I'd already seen before in a new way. On its own, exploration is gratifying, but it helps that there are great rewards for finding Bonanza's heaps of collectibles as well. Fossils are used to buy region-specific outfits that give you perks and a fun, fresh look. You'll also collect mountains of gold, and while I was swimming in cash for the first several hours, trust me when I say collecting as much as you can will be worth it in the end. But the main collectibles are the Banandium gems, which are comparable to Odyssey's power moons in that they're plentifully
moons.
stashed around in places that are often challenging to reach. Unlike Odyssey, though, Bonanza doesn't require you to gather a certain number of gems before moving on to the next area. Instead, collecting 5 earns DK a skill point, which can be used to upgrade his health, moves, and Bonanza transformations. The skill tree doesn't have a ton of surprises, but it's nice knowing that grabbing a gem is always working toward a specific short-term goal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And depending on what type of outfit you have on too, you get perks like swim faster if you want to go in swimming, or if you're on the land and want an advantage there, you'd have a different outfit. Add kind of like a, light RPG element to it, which I think is really cool.
There are tons of gems to find too.
There's a banana!
I had found literally hundreds by the time I cleared the main story after 20 hours. I've spent 30 additional hours collecting hundreds more, and likely have several hours left to reach 100% completion. It's a massive undertaking, but with how enjoyable Bonanza is, I'm not slowing down until I've collected every last one. It's easy to track your progress as
So you see what they said too. Not only did they give you an amazing world, but they gave you it jam-packed. A platformer with almost 60 plus hours of content at launch. See, Astrobot was like 9 hours long. It's not easy to do this type of scale. They worked on this game for 7+ years, by the way.
As well, with a helpful list of your gems in each layer, and this really cool 3D map that accurately reflects the current state of the terrain you've destroyed. Unfortunately, that map does occasionally suffer from minor frame rate drops, as does the rest of Bonanza. The action generally stays at a solid 60 FPS, docked or handheld, but it can briefly dip below that when you're going crazy with the destruction.
See what he said, 60 frames per second the whole way through, and it can dip briefly in handheld and docked at 60. Told you, don't listen to those people.
It's not great that we're already talking about any amount of performance issues on Nintendo's brand new console, but it's never too noticeable or distracting either. Besides, it's easier to forgive the occasional dropped frame when it's because so much beautiful chaos is happening at once. And the ambition of this fully interactable, destructible world is definitely worth that trade-off. Bonanza really does look great, with expressive animations for DK himself, and
PS3 game though, yeah, no, like I said, wow man.
Colorfully detailed environments, NPCs, and enemies. It also constantly pulls inspiration from DK history, with fallen girders from the original Donkey Kong arcade game, and side-scrolling segments that reference classic Donkey Kong Country levels, including a lovely arrangement of Stickerbush Symphony that's just one tune in Bonanza's awesome soundtrack. This may be from the 3D Mario team, but Bonanza regularly pays respects to all of DK history, and at times feels like a modern follow-up to Rare's golden era from the Super Nintendo and N64.
That's what we wanted, and they did it.
Some of the flashiest moments happen during DK's Bonanza transformations, a variety of time-limited power-up states. Kong Bonanza is essentially a souped-up version of DK, who can disintegrate harder materials you'd usually need a boom rock to break through. Zebra Bonanza is all about speed, while Ostrich Bonanza lets you glide through the air. The character designs are hilarious, and each Bonanza is accompanied by a catchy tune performed by Pauline. They all feel fleshed out and great to control, and even better, you can instantly swap between them when you're powered up, giving you even more flexibility in how you want to tackle challenges. You can only enter a Bonanza if you have enough Bananergy, but you'll pretty much always have enough. Admittedly, this can sometimes trivialize otherwise interesting puzzles in the overworld. For example, the puzzle to grab this gem surrounded by poison water can be entirely skipped by simply gliding to it. That fits with Nintendo's recent love of designing puzzles where any solution that works is a correct one, but
Yes.
Bananergy is so plentiful that using transformations can occasionally feel cheap compared to the fun of actually figuring an obstacle out. I was usually able to restrain myself from using these overly streamlined options, but if you were unable to resist Tears of the Kingdom's convenient but boring hoverbike, I could see them being a dangerous temptation. The sheer power of Bonanzas also come into play during the boss battles, which all have exciting designs, like this giant squid made up of dozens of smaller ones that looks ripped straight from Splatoon. The decision to give the big bads a traditional health bar instead of using the expose the weak spot, hit it, and repeat 3 times Mario template fits DK's brawler-focused style perfectly. Still, thanks to the Bonanza
Nice.
powers, I defeated some of newcomer Grumpy Kong's creations in less than 30 seconds. That said, the late-game bosses put up much more of a fight, so it does eventually right the ship in that regard. Regardless, it's still fairly simple to reach the end credits if that's all you're looking to do.
No.
As
I
with
wanna
most
fully
Nintendo
explore.
games, much of the enjoyment comes from surprise, delight, and poking around for secrets rather than white-knuckle difficulty. That's
Yes.
not a complaint, given how fantastic the mechanics are, and how many optional challenges Bonanza presents off the beaten path for veteran players who want more to sink their teeth into. And the gloves
Yeah.
truly come off after the unforgettable finale of the story, with plenty of post-game content that continues to push you in more extreme, exciting ways.
Just like I knew they would. Pretty sure this could probably get an expansion too.
The leader
and
of the
updates.
bunch is finally back to kick some tail in Donkey Kong Bonanza, a brilliant successor to Super Mario Odyssey, and a smashing return for a classic Nintendo character. It was a bold choice to build the Switch 2's first 3D platformer around DK instead of Mario, but it's proven to be the best decision Nintendo could have made. DK's
Yes.
satisfying, expressive movement and powerful, dynamic abilities create a truly groundbreaking adventure. The ambitious, destructible layers of this underground world are densely packed with satisfying collectibles, abundant charm, and clever challenges that never seem to run out of smart ideas, even long after the credits have rolled. Bonanza is a constant crescendo across its 20-hour campaign and beyond, with puzzle platforming concepts that only grow richer as DK and Pauline dive deeper toward the planet core. Every element comes together in complete harmony to create Nintendo's first Switch 2 masterpiece.
Executive Reviews editor Tom Marks here with Logan Plant, our reviewer of Donkey.
So there we have it, y'all. IGN gives it a 10 out of 10, not a 7 out of 10. Of course, they weren't going to do that. So let me know what you guys think about this. As I've said before, as you keep on watching my channel, all I tell you is the truth. Look out for this great stuff. Don't miss out on this. Be a real gamer. Come enjoy some really good games over here. I'm telling you, don't miss out if you can afford it. Now, if you need to save up, save up. You know what I mean? Over time, if you're going to wait for the OLED. Hey, you know what I mean? I ain't sitting here trying to be no advertising like that. No, what I want is people to have awesome gaming experiences, because a true gamer would say, man, I want people that don't, you know, have the platform to be able to get that and get that experience. You know what I mean? That's how I am. You know what I mean? So, and I'm going to say the same thing with Ghost and all those other games that come out. So, yeah. All right. It's going down tonight, y'all. Look out for that stream. Oh, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, get ready. Yeah. We're going to be doing everything 100%. I'll be trying to do some guides for people, all of that. We'll be trying to build that algorithm. All right, y'all. Later. Have a great day.